For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure you select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes every Thursday. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices.
Episode 124.
Woo! Woo! Rom had to come in there, take over, because we're without our captain. But,
what are you talking about? I'm here.
Kyle, jumping into it.
I gotta go.
Oh, no.
Sounds like he's got that cove.
Kyle's gone. Now
I'm here. He left.
That's SARS cove. Okay. Oh, hey, Zach. Yeah, I was the one that had to jump in there. I had to name the number of the episode. I was waiting. I forgot that was probably my role. But you came in with the woo. That's your classic spot.
Right. That's why I didn't come in with a number. I was like, I gotta hold down this woo. I was prepared. I was poised, and I waited for you to come in. And honestly, I feel like things are going a lot smoother without Kyle. Am I right, guys?
Yet to be determined, I'd say. But
yeah.
We don't need him.
Oh, good.
I feel like we have more fun when he's not here.
That's true.
I feel
it's kind of like when the parents are out of the house, you know?
Yeah. He's
kind of jumping on the bed and making ice cream sundaes. Am I right, guys?
Putting Snickers in the toilets and closing the lid.
Nice.
I love that.
But yeah, anything going on with you guys as we head towards T-Gives? That's how the kids call it, T-Gives.
Just trying to stay healthy. I think we got most of our COVID-19 chat out of the way before the pod, so we'll keep it positive here. Not COVID positive, but positive vibes.
Anyone that's listening to this, don't be an idiot. Be smart, wear your mask. Just do it.
Yeah. I'm a big mask guy. Huge into it.
Pretend you're a superhero and do it.
Right.
Yeah. Very pro-mask here as well. I'm not particularly worried about getting the virus, but I have no problems with following rules. And I have no problems, not being an asshole. So wear that mask.
I love rules. I don't know. It's actually a theme of, do you guys know how to website? It's called badmovietwins.com.
Whoa.
I need to hear more about this.
Jamie? It's badmovietwins.com. Sorry, I didn't say it clearly enough the first time. But we have a saying at Bad Movie Twins headquarters, BMT HQ, rules equals cools. Both spelled with Z.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like what kind of rules are you following?
I like to drool
everything.
For those rules.
Everything about Bad Movie Twins is structured in a way that everything has to be rules. So we have an eight genre cycle that goes throughout the year. So it's like comedy, action, horror, rom-com, sci-fi. And then we have other, things that have special rules as well. Bring a friend, where we bring along a friend that wouldn't normally qualify. We have very strict qualification rules for BMT. We have a chain that goes on. There's rules for the chain. You can't repeat actors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have rules for when there's too many weeks in a year. This year is actually, it's called the Stallonian calendar that we've set up for the year. And every once in a while, the Stallone calendar will have an extra week. And that week, we watch a Sly Stallone film.
Oh.
So it says rules on rules. Everything is rules. And we pile up the rules, and rules are cools. So everyone follow those rules because they're cools.
I like those rules. Those sound like fun rules, though. There's
a lot of fun rules. Wearing a mask is a fun rule. It's fun.
I mean, you can accessorize.
I had a Patriots mask. I loved wearing it.
Yeah, I've got my submersion masks. I wear them everywhere.
All right.
Rocked them in my best friend's wedding. Got some extra impressions on social media.
You rocked it while watching my best friend's wedding? That's weird.
No, I haven't seen that in many years. No, I was in my best friend's wedding, and I wore the submersion mask. And it was a hit. And podcast blew up, and we've all retired, and we're just recording 24/7, right?
If only. If only, guys.
No, in fact, we're actually we've actually been slacking, so we're going to try to get the train back on the tracks here. Unfortunately, Kyle.
We're not talking season 2 train movies. We're not season 1 submarine movies.
We're trying to get this sub back underwater.
Right.
We're gonna get it like it's hot.
Zach is rambling about. Come on, Zach. You trying to get that?
That's something happening.
You're trying to get the submarine alarm. I'm pretty sure. To cut me off, so I'm gonna keep talking
working?
until he's
Do you
got
hear
it.
it?
No.
Dive.
All right, well, let's go with that.
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion.
That was awful. Sorry.
Well, we did our best. Without Kyle, the train is off the tracks. The submarine is on the dock.
We're in dry dock.
But we're plowing forwards.
Yep. You got to plow.
And,
we're like the step kids, right? Step kids down under.
I just do not know what you're talking about tonight,
Yeah,
Zach.
nothing makes sense tonight. But
keep at it, keep trying.
But Zach, let's see if you can get this one right. What did we watch for this week?
Oh, well, Jamie, we watched the nope.
I was going to say it too. I don't know why it was in my head there.
I don't know why. I don't either. We watched the Ghazi Attack from 2017.
That's right. So this would be our first, and I think the only Indian submarine film. I know for sure they mentioned this as being the first ever Indian submarine film.
Yeah, I think that's why one of those main actors even got accepted this role. Right? Was because of that fact.
Right. And I do want to up front, I think they have a kind of a warning. Did you guys, the version that you watched, it also have the warning up front about how it wasn't trying to incite violence and that kind of stuff, and just being very sensitive to kind of the area that you're dealing with, India, Pakistan, and the fact that they've had a number of conflicts over the years, and they're just like basically saying, okay, we just wanted to tell the story. It's fictional, take some liberties and all this stuff. And this is very pro India point of view of kind of what happened, and it's still a mystery exactly what happened. So it's definitely an interpretation. So right up front, want to say that I do not believe this film is offensive. They seem to say it wasn't intended to be so, but occasionally you find yourself wondering if it's somewhat propaganda. But same thing you could say if we were watching USS Indianapolis or Midway or something, very pro-America. This one's very pro-India. That's what we'd say up front.
I agree.
Point of view.
Yeah. When it comes to being offended, you choose to be offended, right? Like it's a movie. The director made it. It's in like a Bollywood Indian film. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah. And then usually you can tell sometimes from the IMDb. Sometimes you'll go to IMDb and something will randomly have like a 2 out of 10, like a Justin Bieber movie or something. And you're like, oh, that's because it's offensive. But this one is not that way. It's 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb with 11,000 votes. So it's not getting bombarded or anything like that. So that makes me a little more confident that we, in fact, did not watch something that was offensive, and releasing this episode won't be offensive. Hopefully.
If we're doing a little bit of theory crafting, I'm assuming a lot of Indian people probably rated this movie.
Yeah.
Wait until we get to love it or hate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out if it's offensive once we get to love it or hate it. But do we have anything more to say about this? I mean, really, in the end, the stars of this were Rana Dagubati.
I'll say something.
Taapsee Pannu, KK Menon, Atul Kulkarni.
I'm going to say something. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't know any of these actors in this movie.
Right.
But it was good to see the movie. I don't watch a lot of, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't watch a lot of Bollywood style movies. I don't know about you guys.
Right. No, I do not.
Nope.
Some people are like all about it, though.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I've seen there's that clip of that. I guess see the one. It looks like almost like a Indian 300 where they shoot that giant like flammable cloth into that army that lands on this army of invaders, and then they fire like fire arrows at it, and it incinerates the entire army and whatnot. And it's a pretty badass little action sequence. Look, it's got that Zack Snyder 300 look to it. But I would honestly say that little clip that shows up every now and again on social media is probably the closest thing I've been to watching a Bollywood movie, unless you consider like Slumdog Millionaire. I mean,
right? I was gonna say
I've seen that
to what I've seen. But yeah, so the actors, I'm not familiar too much with the actors. The director is written and directed by Sankalp Reddy. So yeah, not super familiar with who was making this. It did get it won the best feature film in Telugu. So I guess it's a dialect within India, and it was made in that language, Telugu. And
they kind of kept going in and out of English, and
right,
it was weird.
And at the National Film Awards. So it seems to be fairly well regarded in India, at least in that regard. But yeah, it has to do with true events, or it's inspired by true events from the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, specifically right before it started.
All right.
Yep. We ready to get into it?
Let's dive, baby.
All right. So we open, and it's just a few days before this conflict is going to break out, because Bangladesh, which is at that point East Pakistan, is kind of starting to try to get independence from Pakistan. And kind of the problem for Pakistan in that regard is that Bangladesh is completely surrounded by India. East Pakistan at that point is completely surrounded by India. And so they're going to have a lot of trouble kind of getting in there and getting any supplies to anyone in there. So it's like there's no way to fly over and drop stuff, because you would barely get many airplanes through. They have to fly through India airspace. And so you wouldn't be able to get enough in there. And you can't go by land because you have to go through India at any given point. So it's not going to work. And then they're like, okay, the only way to get in there is through the sea. And they have, basically, India has a fairly formidable navy as compared to Pakistan. And they basically they have this aircraft carrier called the Vikrant, I think. And it's basically able to blockade all of East Pakistan from the Pakistani Navy. And so they have to try to figure out some way to either sink this aircraft carrier or at least distract it. So that kind of starts off the beginning of our film, where they're like, okay, the main point will be try to get someone over there to sink the aircraft carrier. And if that doesn't work, attack one of the areas around one of the cities or something. And that way it'll be distracted. The aircraft carrier will have to go over there, and then we'll be able to get supplies in. And so it'll kind of free stuff up. Which seems also like it's just going to start a war, right? In the end, if they sink that aircraft carrier or attack a city, basically they may as well go to war with India right then and there, because it's going to happen.
Yeah. So many things are formally classified as an act of war, and all of those seem like egregious acts of war, to be honest.
Right. And so they're going to send over the Ghazi, the PNS Ghazi, commanded by Razak Khan, over there. But while it's going over there, the Indian Navy, they decode a message being sent that more or less says have fuel reserves available, like oil and stuff stocked up. And they're like, oh shit, something's going on. We don't know what it is. Probably they're going to attack a city or something like that. We don't know, but something's going on. So let's send out a submarine, and we're going to try to do some surveillance and figure out what the hell they're up to. And they're like, so who's going to command the submarine, the S-21? And right away, it's just really kind of crazy, because they're like, oh, well, obviously it's going to be Ranvijay Singh. And everyone's like, gosh, yeah, well, it's like, you know what's going to happen if you send him out there, right? And basically they're like all rolling their eyes at each other. And you get they imply basically, oh yeah, he's just going to go rogue and like attack everyone. Like it's not going to be surveillance if you send Captain Singh out there. That's that. He's going to attack people for days. Yeah. You won't even worry about it. He's going to do it.
He's a military zealot.
Well, it just seems weird that then they were like, it's almost like they can't get around sending like that captain, but he's also going to ruin everything. So like they have to send someone else with them, this Lieutenant Commander Arjun Varma, to go on there. And they're like, oh, you're actually like kind of both in charge. And Singh is like pissed. He's like, well, this political operative. It's almost like a Soviet submarine at that point. It's like,
the political officer. Yeah.
Yeah. He's up in here like raining on my parade, like, idiot. And everyone on the submarine hates him because they love the captain. They're like super into the captain. And they're like, he's never wrong. He can do no wrong. Sure, he's a crazy war zealot, but also, you know, we kind of like it. So like stay out of our face.
Yeah, they even reference at one point that he got into a tussle with like two of his subordinates at one point. And both like he got suspended for that, but then both of his subordinates went on to win like the Indian Medal of Honor or whatnot. Like they like became, you know, powerful, industrious, you know, members of the Indian military because they're crediting the actions of Singh and what he did, you know, to kind of get them in line. So everyone kind of loves, even when he's at fault or doing things that are kind of in the gray areas, they still credit him for why he did what he did, basically.
Yeah, this would be almost like a twist on Crimson Tide in some way, where if the captain in that one was beloved, and basically they were like, Denzel Washington, get out of our face. And it only was, I mean, then Denzel Washington had to kind of make it up to everyone on the crew in regards to this. Because, like, yeah, it's basically you watch this guy and you're like, this dude's off his rocker. Yeah. And he's like, he's got like a book by Patton, and he's like, Patton's the best, and like everyone can screw off, and I'm gonna go to war. And then like he's basically making fun of him the whole time, like, oh, you look at you, you're like some like smart, you know, classroom jockey, like you're always coming in here, you don't know what war is, like all this stuff, and like you don't know, like, we got to attack and you're not going to be ready to attack.
Yeah, it's a common dynamic, actually, because it's very similar to the K-19 Widowmaker one, too, with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. Harrison Ford is the Singh character, you know, even Singh's wanting to run all the drills and really push his men and, like, bring them very, you know, to their lowest point so that they'll be prepared to rise to the duty and their moment of need. So I kind of thought of that when I was watching it.
Yeah, looking through a bunch of the different thoughts and, you know, reviews online, getting ready for love it, hate it. Stay tuned, listeners. Yeah, a lot of connections to the Hollywood films. A lot of straight up stealing it.
Sure. And so anyways, they're cruising around and Singh's getting kind of like tired of it because it really is just surveillance. They're not saying anything, really. But then they hear what ends up being that the Ghazi has arrived in the Bay of Bengal, and they're supposed to have gotten to the aircraft carrier and sink it, but it's not there. Instead, it's just like a merchant ship. And so they're like, well, whatever. This does the job anyways. Like we want to divert the attention of the Indian Navy, so let's destroy this merchant ship. And so they torpedo it. And so Singh in the S-21, they come over and they find the merchant ship, and Singh's kind of like, the merchant ship. Why would they destroy a merchant ship? That's weird. But in the meanwhile, Arjun, he plays the hero. He jumps into the water and is able to save some Bangladeshi refugees, a small child, which actually becomes important, and a woman, also important to certain aspects of the film. But they come on and the captain's kind of pissed. He's like, oh, for God's sake, like you're going out there, like risking our lives, everyone's lives to save these like 2 random people. But whatever. And they get him onto the boat and he's still thinking, he's like, why would they have destroyed this? And he hits on it. He's like, wait a second. It's a diversion. And so where would they be going? And he's like, oh, they're going over to, what was the city's name that they were going to?
It was an extremely long Indian name.
It was a long
Started
one,
with a V, I think.
Oh, Vishakhapatnam or something.
Patanaram or something. Yeah,
Vishakhapatnam.
Yeah,
a port. Anyways,
Yeah.
They're heading towards a port on the side of on the east coast of India, and he's like, that's where they're going. So he's telling the sonar person, like, ping out and see if you can't find him. And he pings, not finding it. And eventually finds, oh yes, 200 meters away, we have a target. And he's like, nailed it. There's a submarine over there. It's the enemy. We've got to attack it. And Arjun's like, I also have power here and we're not attacking it. This is surveillance. We've got to let the base home know, and then they'll let us know what to do. Unfortunately, the radio's been like knocked out. Kind of incidentally. And so they're like, well, yeah, we're supposed to go back and like let them know. We're supposed to just hold and try to get contact and not do anything. Like that's the entire point. Only surveillance. And he's like, well, do you know what I have power over as the captain? Drills. So guess what we're doing? We're doing a torpedo drill. And it's like, Jesus. And so he goes through this whole drill and has them actually shoot off a torpedo in the direction he wants to, in the guise of it being just a drill. And they shoot it off, but they miss the Ghazi. And so now the Ghazi knows where they are, and they're basically, and Singh's like pissed at this point. They were really close to hitting him, only 200 meters off. And it was like the perfect opportunity to like surprise and destroy the submarine. And Arjun's getting even, crazier about this, because he's like, they're diving super deep, trying to make sure they can't be seen by this other submarine, and even going to the point where they go way below crush depth, or like the design crush depth, and things start like pipes start bursting and stuff like that. And eventually, Singh kind of relents. He's got like a gun. He's like threatening Arjun. He's like, get out of here. Like, I'm going to shoot you. We're going down or whatever. But eventually he sees the little girl, the child, and basically kind of realizes that he's doing something wrong in that moment. That really, like, everything's screwed up at this point. They don't have any food because they caused a fire during the drill, the torpedo drill, or during the diving. And so all their food was destroyed. They have a bunch of people hurt. And basically everything is like pretty dire on the show. Oh, and the batteries were all screwed up too. So they like don't have anything, and they really can't survive much longer than a few days if they don't start heading back to port. And so he kind of relents. And in the meantime, Arjun hears his whole backstory, which is basically that his son was killed at war because he didn't get the opportunity, or he didn't get not the opportunity, but didn't get the order to attack. And was in a defensive position when the enemy attacked and ended up getting killed. Mm-hmm. And so that's why he's so like aggressive, which was like kind of a crazy story, because it's like probably shouldn't be a cap. Like if your entire judgment is painted by this experience, maybe it's time to retire or something. I don't know. Yeah. Like it seemed a bit nuts that he was still like a captain then, if everyone knew for a fact he was going to not make good judgment calls based on his like experience with his son having been killed, and like would clearly disobey orders because of that. But whatever. Anyways, he decides, you know what, we're just gonna head back, and everyone, the crew and stuff like that, seem to be happy. Like in the end, they like Singh, they like Captain Singh, they think he makes good judgments, and so if he's saying it's time to go back, it means like, yeah, it definitely is time for them to give up. But Arjun actually, he's kind of like hearing something from the sonar guy, and the sonar guy's like, I'm pretty sure the submarine's over that way, because the Ghazi has set up like a trap with mines and stuff like that, and he's trying to goad them to go in a certain direction. So the sonar guy's like, they're over there, we should go over there. And Arjun kind of says like, well, even surveillance would say we should go over there and see, kind of make sure we know their position and know what's up with what they're up to. And so he kind of comes back and says like, Captain Singh, like, I think we should actually go that way. And so they start heading towards us. The mines have been set up in like kind of a little bit of a canyon. And so they're going through this tight canyon and there's these mines. And only at the last moment do they realize that there's mines. And so Captain Singh like tries to turn as quickly as he can, but isn't able to do it. And the submarine hits the mines. Everything goes to shit. There's kind of a confusing action scene here, but in the end of it, Captain Singh is killed, saving Arjun's life. So like they show like a little flashback to show that there was like a pipe with a wheel, and the wheel spun off at a very high rate, and he pushed Arjun out of the way and got nailed in the face with this wheel, and that's how he died. And so like, and then the XO is like severely hurt, so Arjun's left in charge, and because of the mine, the submarine crashes to the bottom of the ocean, which is like way below crush depth. It's like 400 meters or 450 meters or something. And they're down there and they're barely able to get everything kind of back in like not working order yet, but like enough to stop all the flooding. And basically we become trapped. We're back in trapped part of submersion because they are trapped on the bottom of the ocean. It's probably the quickest we ever seen them fix a totally screwed up boat because it takes like 5 seconds and like working with some wrenches, boop, boop, bow. And like 5 seconds later, they're like, actually, we're doing okay. And they're like, basically blow the ballast. Let's see if we can go up. And they do.
Kind of
and they're basically all
like.
Yeah, they're only able to go up and down. That's it. They have no more lateral, no nothing. They can go up and down. The problem is that Ghazi more or less can see them. But Ghazi's been like checking to see if they're there, but thinks they're destroyed at this point. And so they're going up and down. They're able to go up and down. And Arjun, in like a moment of like nationalism, but also like for Captain Singh and stuff like that, it's like, we're going to fucking kill him. Right, guys? And everyone's like, yeah, we're totally into it, even though we're like almost dead. And so since they can't go after the Ghazi, they have to get the Ghazi to come after them. And so they get up near the naval mine, which is like right off the side. I didn't even know this is possible. This may be totally Bollywoodized or whatever. But they like bang against the side of the submarine until the shock waves, the sound waves, trigger the mine and it explodes. Seems crazy.
Yeah, it seems
very
crazy.
Happen.
A little far-fetched.
Mm-hmm. A little far-fetched, but it does get the Ghazi.
It.
I don't believe it either. But in this movie, this Bollywoodized movie, they do it. And the Ghazi's like, wait, the mine just went off. And they're like, oh, so that must have been the submarine. And they're like, okay, let's go check it out, make sure that they actually were destroyed. That's kind of crazy that we thought they were destroyed, but they guess they weren't, and they hit the mine. Well, whatever. It seems very suspicious. So they're heading straight for it, and they're like, everyone at S-21's like, this is bomb. This is the best. Like, they're coming straight for us. We're just going to torpedo them, and then it's going to be over. But the captain of the Ghazi's like a little too smart, and he's like, don't do what's expected. Let's go around. We'll go around just in case the submarine is positioned in the way, and we're going to come around, and that way we'll destroy them. They want to get us in this way. We're going to come around the other way. So the S-21's like screwed. They're sitting there being like, what are we going to do? What do they do? It's kind of amusing what they do now.
I think I was still asleep.
Essentially, they just go up and down. Like, it's literally like, I don't even know how long it was. 20 minutes of the movie is spent them like holding on and being like, I hope we don't get this torpedo. And they just move up and down. They're like, we're at 250. And they're like, shoot the torpedo at 250. And they're like, whoops. And they go back up to 200. And they're like, we missed. Damn. Like, we'll send two of them, send one of them at like 200 and another one at 150. And like they're able to, and they're like, what's better than 2? 3 fucking torpedoes. And they send 3 torpedoes. And it's like, what are they going to do? And instead they just sit there and the torpedoes just barely miss them. And the Ghazi gets increasingly like frustrated by this. Like, what is he, a lift driver? Like, what's happening here? This is bullshit. And so he's all angry, and he's like, well, we're going to get them. And like, well, we have to turn around because we used all of our front torpedoes or aft torpedoes. So we have to turn around now and go after them. The S-21 realizes that in order to do that, they'll have to swing around. And so they swing around in such a way that they would end up kind of getting in front of where there is some torpedoes, but it's in a totally flooded compartment. So Arjun is like, my job to be a hero, I'm going to go and launch those torpedoes. He swims underwater in there. They get all the torpedoes set up. The Ghazi shoots a torpedo. He's able to launch one just at the last moment. Two torpedoes come. Ghazi's one misses barely for whatever reason, but the S-21's nails the Ghazi and it explodes. And then they open the compartment. Arjun's able to fly out of the compartment and get revived. Water pumped out of his lungs, and everyone. Then they end with a very long, kind of like hero's moment, I guess, of sorts, and being like, and then the next day the war started, etc., etc., etc. The end.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very, 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 very long movie. That's what I would say.
An hour and 58 minutes, I think.
No, more than that. My version was over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. What am I thinking?
So there we go. It was pretty great. But
it had its
maybe
moments.
not as good as what some people thought.
How many bags of popcorn did you eat, though, Jamie?
While I was watching this?
Yeah.
I did not eat any popcorn.
What?
I was eating plantain chips.
So let me understand, Jamie. This is a zero popcorn movie? Is that what you're saying?
That's funny because when we were growing up, my brother, we used to rate things on popcorn stains. That's what my older brother would say.
Oh, yeah?
This is a four popcorn stain because you get so excited that you'd spill the popcorn on your pants.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But no popcorns for me. Unless
Okay.
Dehydrated
it was
plantains?
plantain chips. No, plantain chips.
Yeah, like the hard, crispy, like banana chips almost?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Crispy.
Nice.
They're very delicious.
I might have
From
to check
Trader
them out.
Joe's. Not a sponsor.
I like the bananas. I've never had the plantains.
Well, they're savory. They're more savory than sweet. Banana chips are usually a little sweeter, I think.
I think I've given banana chips to either a ferret or a hamster once.
Okay.
And?
No, that's the story.
That is the story.
No, it was fine, though. It was okay.
Oh, like did either of them die?
No, I'm just assuming that they were okay.
I can't remember.
Okay. And what do we do? Do we do our ratings first or love it or hate it?
Normally ratings first. But Kyle's not here. We can do whatever we want, Jamie. No rules.
No,
I still want to kind of do the
rules.
rating. Yeah, I do love rules.
I don't want to be colored by it.
I'm going to come. I can do first if people don't mind.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to come in kind of middle of the road on the 12-point scale. So I do think this was I liked the look of it. I liked the acting. I liked the storyline in general. I felt like it was too long though, really long. And at times, especially visually, like the whole submarine and stuff like that was great, but all of the outside stuff was not particularly well done. The visual effects portion of it. So it felt a little cheap at times. In some ways, you'd almost think that's why I kind of said USS Indianapolis before. You get the sense that maybe this was not like a full-blown top-of-the-line Bollywood, and I may be wrong about that. But that it may have been one of those ones that would have been more kind of smaller pictures or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Because the visual effects not super great.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to come in at like a 5.5.
Wow.
5.5. So I'd say. That's what I'm feeling in my heart.
I completely agree with everything you said. I don't even know if I have
Except
much more to add.
for the score. You're going to give it a 1.
No. I guess really only thing I can add, because I mean you hit exactly the things I wanted to communicate. It would be very interesting if this is true, if this is a true story, and in as much as like even like what's
Saving Private Ryan.
Arjun. Saving Private Ryan. Arjun swimming into the torpedo chamber at the end, firing the torpedo. Like if some of that stuff actually happened, that'd be like an incredible story that deserves to be told. Sounds like we don't know. Well,
it's all secret. I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
it's very secret. So even though there's people who clearly were on the S-21, the claim at least made by this movie is that they're always going to be in the background because we'll never know the actual truth,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this interpretation of what might have happened is really interesting. Like, I think it had some unique story elements to it. Obviously, we did talk about a lot of things did feel derivative to the Hollywood submarine films, and even Das Boot. It kind of felt like at times. I mean, just even the length felt like Das Boot. It was getting into the lives of the submariners there. And drug on just a little bit too long for me, but I did enjoy it. I think I'm going to come in around the same spot too. I think I'm going to give it a 5. I liked the slack on the string. I thought that was fun with the crewmates.
Yeah, that actually reminded me of Down Periscope. Didn't they have a string on Down Periscope?
Yeah, I have to imagine that came from somewhere as well, but I thought that was a unique way to kind of illustrate the crush depth.
Right.
CGI was terrible, so that was actually a really cool practical effect way to show that the water was pushing in on all sides and crushing the submarine. So I thought that was pretty neat. Zach?
Well, what else is there to say after you two review hogs ate up all the cornmeal?
I really don't think we did. I just think that's all there really is to say about it.
You did. That's it. You literally said everything except... So like we said at the beginning of the hour, not a huge Bollywood guy. I don't really have anything to compare this to, but upon research for Love It, Hate It, I saw a lot of love for this movie. And I think it's important that this podcast is a reputable podcast, and we give credit where credit's due. And we're going to take the next 2 seconds to acknowledge the love for this movie in a form of Ben will say a letter from the letter A, Jamie will say a letter from the letter B, and I will say a letter from the letter C. Go.
I have to say a word from... Wait, what? Say it one more time.
What do you think I said?
I think you just say A. Don't you just say A? I think he just says A.
That's Zach's puzzle, baby. Take that, Jamie. But you figured it out.
Yeah, I think you just say A. Just say A.
A.
B.
C. Okay. So a lot of love for this movie. I didn't love it. This is strictly my own preference for these types of movies. This just didn't do it for me. Maybe if this was the first submarine movie we ever watched, I'd be like, okay, yeah, great.
Imagine that.
But even to the, I didn't watch this minute by minute, but I watched a good chunk of it. And it still seemed to just be like, okay, I'm going to make this movie and I'm going to take a lot of these ideas and these scenes and these situations from other major successful Hollywood films and put them in here. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? If it's the first movie in India about this kind of thing, but because we'd already seen it, I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I don't know if it's the camera style or the camera work, but it just seemed, I don't know. What's the word I'm thinking of? Like
choppy or something?
No, maybe not choppy, but just, I don't know. It just had a different feeling compared to something like, I don't know, Beetlejuice. I don't know.
So we'd say like it's like a Zackification of it.
The Zackification of exculpation. Yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
Okay, got it.
And what was your guys' ratings again?
I did a 5.5.
And I did a 5.
So in times like this, I like to think, what would our captain do, Kyle? And I could picture Kyle being like, holy fuck! This movie blew me away. 9 out of 10.
Wow.
But that's Kyle, guys. It's not Zach.
I see.
I'm your boy, Zach. I'm telling you, save the popcorn, save the candy, watch something else.
Save the whales.
Save the whales. Don't nuke the whales. Save the whales. Wear a mask. But don't watch this movie. 3 out of 10. Or 12.
Ooh.
Wow.
The Ghazi Attack. A review by your captain, Kyle. Remotely. Not on tonight. I am playing a little bit of Among Us with Brambeard Gaming. That's why I'm not here tonight. But go check out that stream. We had a really great time doing it. Anyways, the Ghazi Attack. This movie, it is subtitled. I'll say that. It's not always necessarily like my favorite thing to watch, but another thing that we can run into is subtitles, and I think Jamie had mentioned it in Wolf's Call, is that maybe if we spoke their language, so for that, French, if we spoke Hindi for this one, maybe we'd look at this and maybe say, oh, it's a bad movie, but it's really hard to tell when you have the subtitles whether or not you're watching a bad movie or not. But I thought the actors did really well in the movie. Visuals could have been a little bit better, especially when you're looking at the exterior of the submarine. For whatever reason, anytime they showed the screws, they wanted to, I mean, most of it looked okay, but whenever they would show the exterior of the sub and the screws, they put this effect on to show the water spinning away, and that didn't look fabulous, I'll say. I thought there was a lot of good tension in the movie, as we're always looking for in a submarine movie. Also, I kind of like that we were in a completely new theater of war. We've never watched really anything about, we've never watched anything about the India-Pakistan conflicts, and most everything we're always watching is World War II, Cold War, or just something insane. As I guess most of the stuff that we've seen lately has just been absolutely insane. And this was kind of refreshing, although it was also interesting because in this, I think, they painted the Pakistani Navy as the U.S. always paints the German Navy for the World War II ones, or we do the Russian Navy. So I thought that was kind of interesting. There's a lot of similarities that seem to blend internationally when making a movie. But we had water in the sub. We had an attempted, quote-unquote, attempted mutiny. I don't know if you would call it that necessarily, but good enough for me. We had fire in the sub. I don't really remember seeing a wrench, but I did see a screwdriver, so who knows. Action was good once it started. I think I'd mentioned to the guys that I did fall asleep first time I was watching it, but granted, I was super tired, and the first half hour, there's not a whole heck of a lot of action going on, but the rest of the hour and the other hour and a half of the movie, you've got a lot, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to come in here at, trying to think of what I gave Wolf's Call, but I'm going to come in here at like a 7.75. I'm going to turn it back on over to the guys.
All right. I definitely 100% want to start with love it.
Hit the music.
I love it. I hate it.
Okay. Jamie, you said you wanted to love it first?
I should have got my guitar out.
Should have. Missed opportunity, but you still could. I could read this slow.
It'll take too long.
All right, love it. This comes from my guy, MSHAH890 from February 17th, 2017. 10 out of 10. Great thrill. I really felt to root for the heroes throughout the film. Exclamation point, exclamation point. After a long time, Bollywood gives such a well-scripted, well-acted, and thrilling film. I didn't go into the theater with much expectations. I was really surprised by the depth of script in terms of submarine warfare. I cannot say whether it was accurate or not, although it doesn't matter, as which Hollywood films are accurate anyways. All they need is to fool the audience well enough. Accurate or not, the submarine warfare was really thrilling and very well presented. And thank God, at least one director in Bollywood is enlightened enough not to put crappy songs in the film to bore the audience. 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, I gotta say, the music, there was a lot of tension. I'm gonna tell a little story about that when I get to Phantom Zone. So,
Ben?
What am I doing? Am I sharing my thoughts on that?
Do you have any thoughts? You don't have to.
No, I have no thoughts.
All right, hate it. This comes from ZHYUSUF-925-9603. This is from May 2017. War-mongering at its best. Men with raging testosterone will love this film. And being a war film, it is no more than a propaganda machine to recruit more such men into our war syndrome of hatred, vengeance, and more testosterone wars.
Wow. A lot of testosterone.
Then that Pakistan and India are where they are today, hating each other, while the world has moved on to make progress. If these two countries exerted so much effort and will at working together rather than working against each other, surely both of the countries would be a better place. Time for testosterone war men to think and work for peace, not war. Peace. 1 out of 10.
Testosterone Warmen. It's a good name for a band.
It's a good one.
I feel like they need to broaden their vocabulary a little bit. A lot of testosterone.
Use the word
in
testosterone.
Yeah.
A lot of war. A lot of men. Testosterone war men.
Mix it all together, you get testosterone war men.
There you go.
I would say I definitely much more agree with the 10 out of 10 review, our Love It review.
All right, Submersion. You heard it here. Love it.
All right. Should I get into a little trivia? It's not going to be too much.
Yeah.
I did want to say the PNS Ghazi, originally, do you know what it was originally called?
PNS Ghazi. Nope.
Also known as the USS Diablo SS-479, a Tench-class diesel-electric fast-attack submarine.
We sold
From
it?
the United States. Yep. Laid down in 1944 by the United States. Commissioned in 1945, decommissioned in 1964, stricken in 1971, transferred to Pakistan in 1964. So we just decommissioned it, sold it to Pakistan. And then, yep, it ended up getting destroyed, as we saw, in 1971. And it was a little bit, it is still considered a mystery. It's one of the last, as I see on Wikipedia, last unsolved greatest mysteries of the 1971 war is exactly what happened to the Ghazi. Because, I think Indian Navy, they say that they destroyed it and then put the investigation under wraps some people would say that they were trying to falsify that in fact, the Pakistan's official position is that they were laying down mines and suffered some kind of internal explosion, or one of the mines detonated by accident, and they exploded off of Visakhapatnam harbor. So yeah, a little bit of a question of exactly what happened there. It is obviously known that it was destroyed in the end. So kind of interesting story there in terms of what exactly was going on. It also, in the end, as I had mentioned, it did win Best Feature Film in Telugu at the National Film Award in 2018. And I think generally was fairly well received, although it's a little hard to say exactly how well received it was by critics. Obviously, IMDb has a high score, and it made some money. It says it grossed about $4.8 million. So $3.9 million in India, which I presume is a fair amount. I don't think the box offices are quite as big in some of these locations, but I don't know. Sounds like it was a moderate success. And then I did want to do one quick Jeopardy round, if you guys are game for it.
Love it.
Yes, I love Jeopardy.
So I did kind of like this one because it's kind of a weird one. I also find it strangely easy, but I guess it depends on if you're into geography. So the category is called the largest in area, and you'll see where this kind of plays a role in this. So the largest in area, 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000. So Zach, you go first because you gave it the lowest score.
Well, let's go with the lowest number.
200?
Yeah.
Mexico, United States, Canada.
Just which ones has the largest landmass, or like?
Yep. Largest area.
Oh, that's a good one. It's not Mexico, but if you're talking United States, you said United States, so that's with Alaska. But Canada's huge. But Alaska. Canada.
Yes.
It's a good guess, yeah.
Canada is gigantic. All right. Brom, 400, 600, 800, 1,000.
Or Zach would say, let's let it ride.
400?
Sure.
Pakistan, India, Bangladesh.
Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. India.
Yes. That's where this plays in a role. All three of those countries playing a role in the movie.
That's easier than mine.
It's true. 600, 800, 1,000.
Let it ride.
All right. 600. Saudi Arabia, Oman, or Yemen?
I know this one.
You said you do, Ben?
Yeah.
Say those three again, please, Jamie.
Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Yemen.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Yes. 800 and 1,000.
Boom.
800.
Here we go.
Oh, I found this one to be the hardest of them for me personally.
I got it.
Spain, Germany, France.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That is amazing.
That's a really good one.
Goodness. I'm going to go...
I know my guess.
I'm going to go Spain.
Not what my guess is.
Well, was that also your guess? Zach?
No, mine's France.
It is France.
Wow. France was going to be number 3 for me. Wow.
And then for the 1,000 one, you guys can buzz in.
Okay.
Libya, Egypt, Tunisia.
Bam!
Yep.
How long do I have to think about it?
0 seconds.
Egypt.
I have a guess. Yeah, I was going to...
Wrong. It is not Egypt.
I was going to go Egypt as well.
No, it is Libya. Libya is also ginormous.
North African.
And then I'm going to do 2 things. One, I will say that kind of an interesting story that I did hear about this as well was that they originally, the inspiration for this is they watched USS Indianapolis and they were like, whoa,
wait,
I love it. And they were like,
Nick Cage movie?
Yeah, and then they said that same thing. They were like, we need Nick Cage for Sing. Captain Sing is Nick Cage. And they talk to him. They kept on saying, come on, you got to do this. And he was like, no way. And they were like, okay, who's the second craziest actor? And someone was like, Ed Harris. And they were like, Ed Harris is even crazier than Nick Cage. We can't have him near this script. But being crazy, Ed Harris found it and was like, I got to play this role. And they denied it. They said, no way, you're too crazy. And he became so enraged that they actually tore apart the underwater scenery, everything that they had set up. And that's why they had to do all the computer graphics for this. Because all of it was destroyed. Ed Harris destroyed it all.
Now it makes sense.
In a fit of rage.
Dang it. So none of that was true.
What's that?
I said, so none of that was true.
Well,
I was hoping the Nick Cage part was at least true.
I thought it was at first.
Oh, I totally was buying in on it.
Nope.
And then it evolved into the Ed Harris story, the weekly. Yeah,
then you got it. Then you were picking up what I was putting down. And then the quick Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
So, yeah, I'm going to break it to you guys. Did not have an actor who I could connect to Ed Harris in this case. There is one person in the crew that we're able to use. That would be Ashwin Kumar. He's a rotoscope person who has visual effects on this. If you click on his IMDb, you can see that he is known for uncredited rotoscoping. He's actually done a whole bunch of rotoscoping on all kinds of stuff, both Indian and American, and that includes the Godzilla film that we watched with Bryan Cranston.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. I'm seeing like Tomb Raider. Let me see.
The movie?
Tomb Raider. Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Like the new one?
Yeah, the newer one.
Okay. Huh.
That's what I got.
There it is.
All right.
There it is.
Does it mean it's me already?
Or the news? I thought we had news.
We could do the news.
Did we get some news we want to talk about?
I think you did, right, Zach?
Yeah, I got. This comes from us. No sponsor here, but NavyRecognition.com. Indian Navy launches its 5th Scorpion-class submarine, INS Vagir. Vagir. Thank you. Posted on Thursday, November 12th of 2020.
It's either that or it's Vagger.
Well, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, so this is a pretty long news story, so I didn't read it.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
But there's the headline for you, folks.
No, it's pretty straightforward. It just launched. This new submarine launched, right? And you can look up pictures. They decorated it out with the Indian flag. It looks really cool. It looked like a big ceremony in their naval yard. Looked like the launch of this. It's the 5th of the series of 6 Calvary class submarines, which were ordered way back in 2005. So just tells you, it's been 15 years pretty much for this program. And we just now have the 5th of the 6 submarines launching. So, Naval Group is proud to be a part of the first of its kind P-75 Calvary program. So to deliver entirely made in India submarines to the Indian Navy. That's a quote. And it can carry 18 torpedoes and missiles or 30 mines. It's equipped with 6 bow-located 21-inch torpedo tubes, providing salvo launch capability. And that's about it. Weapons are automated. Can be automated. So.
And then I did want to look up some submarine film stuff. So there is a new submarine documentary coming out. Neither Confirm or Deny is the title. And there's some new clips from that.
Wait,
so
what's the name of the title of that?
Neither Confirm nor Deny.
Too long. Don't like it.
And then the second season of His Dark Materials, I'm seeing that premiered. And there is a submarine setting in that show now. So something to look forward to as well. I'm also seeing that the new GTA Online releasing in December, like a new expansion of their online, includes a submarine headquarters.
Now that's big news. That's awesome.
So got lots of all kinds of submarine stuff happening.
A lot of sub content.
And now, Brom, now it's you.
Oh, it's me?
Hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it. All right. I'm loving it.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
Give it to me.
I'm hating it. Turn the lights down now. I'm loving it. Faith will show in time. Smile being in the summer. All right, we got the top 5 India fun facts.
Nice.
So we've been moving around the globe, and we watched an Indian film. So what better time to look at some Indian fun facts than right here and now? Let's jump right in here. Number 5, the concept of shampooing your hair came from India.
What?
Really?
Yep. In fact, the word shampoo is an Indian, or what it would be, Hindu word.
Hindi, I think.
Hindi word. Shampoo. Spelled with a C, though, and a U. Shampoo.
I feel like I like that better. They should.
Yeah,
they
that's
should change
kind
it
of
back.
cool. It is kind of, yeah. Shampoo with 2 O's. It's got poo in the word. And a sham.
Right.
Sham.
I like it.
Sham and poo. Like, those are 2 bad words.
Like fake poo.
Yeah, fake poo.
Poo's a funny word.
It is a funny word. I don't want it in my hair.
Well, unless it's fake. Unless it's
Right.
fake poo.
Yeah, I guess. Still imagine, like, fake poo would smell bad, though, so. Not for me. Number 4, India is the largest democracy in the world.
Per
I mean,
population?
yes. Yeah, it's a population.
I don't know.
Oh.
This comes from a India.gov site, so I trust.
Probably population.
I trust those Indians.
Yeah, that's what yeah. Because
Gotta be.
India is behind China in terms of population.
Yes.
Yeah, and India is not as big as Canada. I assume they would call themselves a democracy, right?
The Canadians?
Number 3, this was pretty amazing. India has never invaded a country.
Okay.
Again, this came from a .gov India site, so it could be propaganda. But again, I trust Indians, so I'll go with it. They have never invaded a country. Number 2, yoga was created in India over 5,000 years ago.
Yoga or Yoda?
Both. No,
Okay.
yoga.
Yogi? Like Yogi Berra?
No, yoga.
Yogi Bear.
Yogi Berra is like a baseball player, and he's not even like 100 years old.
Yogurt?
Yogurt.
No, yoga.
That's some old yogurt.
If you think about it,
say
though,
that.
5,000 years, that is a long time ago.
5,000 years? That's crazy.
Yep.
Like in
Amazing.
terms of human civilization and anything like that? Yeah, that's
like before written history.
yeah, I mean 5,000 years ago. I can't name one
what were you up
person.
to?
I don't
Yeah, one person 5,000 years ago. It's probably
That's like my great grandfather.
All right. Kind of caveman time, right?
has
Probably,
to be, right?
There's
Not
probably,
Geico.
I mean, it's probably
Oh.
like paintings that we were able to discern that, oh, this yoga existed a long time ago. I don't know. Number 1, this is a very, very fun and cool fact, guys. There's a couple very famous games that were invented in India. I mean, some of the biggest. You guys know what I'm talking about here?
Give me a
Talking
hint.
board. We're talking board games. They've got two of the heaviest hitters on the board game scene.
Are we talking like
Chess.
classic kids or?
There's one classic kids and one that Jamie has already named.
So chess?
Chess.
I'm going to say
chess
checkers.
is one of them, and then one is a kids game.
Shoots and ladders.
You got it.
What?
Of course, originally termed snakes and ladders, but chess and snakes and ladders were invented in India.
That's what I do.
There you go. Those
Puzzles, trivia, everything.
Those are my top 5 Indian fun facts.
Okay. What now?
Zach facts.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, we are 3 minutes away from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now, which might be the first time we might finish this up before 10 o'clock. Zach fact. All right.
Over under 3.5 Zach facts.
Ooh, what's the over under? Let's hear it. 3.5? Okay.
I'm going over.
Ooh.
I always go under. I'm going over tonight.
I think Zach's going to unwind on us here tonight, and I'm going over as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is for you, Jamie, because you're a fan. You're a film fan of film, and Ben, you watch films of man. So I wanted to think of that, and I was like, what are some men that have directed films? And I wonder if they've ever seen this film. So I reached out to some people, made some connections, sent some emails, some pigeons did fly. And we're gonna hear about some big time directors that were so inspired by this film that they decided to make something new. Fact number 1. George Lucas saw this film. And he liked it so much that he's going to write a script. And it's going to be called The Clones Attack. And it's the same exact film as The Attack of the Clones, but with more visual effects.
Nice.
What does that have to do with submarine action in the Indian Ocean?
Nothing.
Oh.
Fact number 2. Steven Spielberg liked this movie so much, he decided to make a sequel to one of his most famous films. And this new movie is called The Private Ryan Attack.
All right.
Fact number 3.
Do you know what the plot is of that?
Oh, the plot is a group of soldiers go on attack to save Ryan.
In the Indian Ocean?
That makes sense.
Maybe. We have to see the film. It's still,
Okay.
He's keeping his jaws tight to that one. Fact number 3. Michael Bay loved this film so much, he decided to make his own version, but with a twist. It's called The COVID Attack and centers around the last submarine on Earth not impacted by COVID.
Wow.
Lots of visual effects.
Is it a Transformer? Or no?
No,
He
I
hasn't
think
said yet.
Jamie, I don't know if you know the joke, but Michael Bay is directing a COVID movie, right?
Like that's a real thing?
There's a real COVID movie coming out.
Like is it like the Emoji Movie, but it's called the COVID movie?
No, but it's like a dystopian future where the COVID virus mutates and evolves into something with a 50% mortality rate.
You can't be serious, Ben, are you?
I'm dead serious.
Oh,
I think
and Michael Bay's doing it?
I think it's Michael Bay. COVID mutation movie.
Oh, golly. That'll be a big coincidence, listeners. I did not look that up.
Yep. Songbird, Michael Bay. Stars Alexandra Daddario, Demi Moore, KJ.
What's the phrase? If a monkey types long enough, eventually he'll type Shakespeare. Is that what just happened?
Synchronicity?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe.
Just for the record, listeners, Michael Bay's the monkey. So anyone can make a movie better than him.
Wow.
Although
amazing.
The Island, I like The Island. I give him credit for The Island. I like that movie. Are we at 3? Is that it?
That was 3.
Is that it, guys?
Unless that's like 1A, 1B, and 1C.
Fact number 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
James Cameron saw this film 16 times. Wants to make a sequel to Titanic called The Titanic Attack.
Nice.
But in this movie, the point of view is from the iceberg.
Huh.
Okay. Is it just like black, like just like a black sky, and then around hour 2 you see a slight glow on the horizon, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger?
There's gonna be that cut, and then there's gonna be a cut where the iceberg has an inner dialogue. So,
oh, interesting.
And then maybe Nemo swims by or something for the kids.
God, I can't believe you just ripped that Michael Bay movie. That's hilarious.
that is a shock. Anyways,
it just shows how little creativity Hollywood has.
Yeah, that's true. Zach facts aren't supposed to be real.
No, not even close. Not even close. Anyway, guys, that's it. So there you go.
Wow.
I had 4.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not the first time. It won't be the last time. But it's always a special time when one of the Zach facts turns out to be real.
And in that, it finds a way.
There
it is.
All right.
James, Ben, Zach.
We'll cut it somewhere in there.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.